The swing's been closed for years. What was this place?
Purgatory, fashioned by the hands of men. Twisted, lonely souls, the worst of the criminally insane, were locked up in here like animals.
This whole facility was shut down in the 40s, wasn't it? Some sort of scandal?
The young girl on the staff was accidentally locked in here over the holidays. The inmates kept her hidden for days. She was raped hundreds of times. When they found her, she was barely alive and with child. That girl was Amanda Krueger. Her child, Freddy, the bastard son of 100 maniacs.
The swing's been closed for...
All right. Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of Horror Flix and Chill. I am one of your hosts, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I'm here joined by my incredible crew. And that was, in fact, the movie that we're going to be talking about tonight, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, The Dream Warriors. Okay, I just added that. So our mantra on this podcast is to just get it in, right? No more of those long intro podcasts where we're going to talk forever before we get into the goddamn film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce people, and I just want you to say who you are real quick. We'll go to the next one, and we're going to get this party going. And at the end, we'll do all of our shout outs. So we're going to start off with our special guest, Captain Olaf. How you doing, Captain?
Hey, I am great. I coming to you all live from the great state of Indiana. Loving to get into this show.
All right. And let's do ladies first. This young lady is our resident gore queen. It is the one and only Tory.
Hi. I'm excited to be here. This is a good movie.
All right. This young lady, she gives me all of my advice on mostly everything. It is the one and only Jen.
Hey, okay, I'm Jen. Let's go.
All right. I love that. I love that. And
that's the spirit.
definitely not least, we have Joshua. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good. Josh from Semicore Studios here to ask a lot of questions.
All right. And I am Kinte. All right, so let's do this. Jen, we're going to start off. Give us the synopsis of the film that we're going to review tonight.
All right, the synopsis is, and this is an exciting one. During a hallucinatory incident, young Kristen Parker has her wrists slashed by a dream-stalking monster, Freddy Krueger. Her mother, mistaking the wounds for a suicide attempt, sends Kristen to a psychiatric ward where she joins a group of similarly troubled teens. One of the doctors there is none other than Nancy Thompson, who had battled Freddy for some years before. Nancy senses a potential in Kristen to rid the world of Freddy once and for all. This is Nightmare on Elm Street, release date February 27th, 1987, directed by the famous Chuck Russell. And of course, story by Wes Craven.
Right. And remember, and Frank Darabont was one of the screenwriters who, you know him, he created The Walking Dead, the TV series, and he also wrote and directed the adaptation of The Mist, Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile. So, fantastic. This was, I believe, his first film. Now, I said in the pre-chat that I have a challenge for Jen. And the reason why Jen gets this challenge is kind of crappy. Yesterday, she didn't have the internet, so she didn't watch the film with us. So I don't know if it's as fresh in her head. So, Jen, putting you on the spot, can you recite the Freddy Krueger nursery rhyme?
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. Oh boy. No, I actually don't remember it all.
5, 6,
5,
5,
6.
6.
Grab your
crucifix,
crucifix.
Oh, grab your crucifix. Right. Okay.
7, 8.
Better stay up
Yeah,
late.
Yeah, stay up late. That's
and
right.
9, 10.
I don't know.
Never sleep. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
never sleep again. Oh wow, you know what? Now it actually comes back in my head. Thank you. Thank you for narrating that. That was wonderful. So
Yeah.
did I pass? Because obviously
No. but Josh,
You
if I
forgot. You forgot to say that that you were calling in a friend or calling in.
Oh, why didn't I do my lifeline? Darn
There you
it.
go. You didn't say you were using your
Oh.
lifelines.
but you know what, Joshua, just to make you feel good, is if I ever babysit your kids, I will be singing that nursery rhyme to them before they go to sleep.
Yes.
I
I
guarantee
feel like
you
Josh's kids might like it.
Yeah, they'll be up way later than you.
Probably. I can't hang like I used to. So let's get right into this film. Okay, so we reviewed Halloween Kills, which was the newest film, and really the big three of the 80s horror movies was Halloween, Friday 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Of course, there were others, but those were the big three. We can all agree on that, right?
Mhm.
And let's just be honest. Most of those movies, which had multiple sequels, I think Freddy had 7, not including Freddy versus Jason. And
Well,
not,
there's. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like I just downloaded all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and there was 12 of them.
oh well, I think you might be including the remakes.
Okay.
But I don't know. And then there was a TV show as well. But
Hmm.
okay, I could be wrong. Halloween, there's like, if you don't count the remakes, I think there's like 8 or something like that. And then if you count and Friday 13th, there's 10, not including the remakes, because he goes to outer space. And I don't know if I'll make you guys watch that classic film, but I would have to say, in my humble opinion, of the big three, of the big three, Nightmare on Elm Street probably had the better sequels. Now, Halloween obviously had the best movie of the first, but of all of them, in singular movie. But I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street had the best sequels. I mean, but they're all. It depends on the gauge you want to use, right? If you're trying to compare it to Citizen Kane, then of course, they all suck. But you know, but if you go from that, the slasher 80s horror flick, I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street had the better sequels, and I would.
Nightmare on Elm Street had hands down, the best quip lines that every single person that I know who ever saw Nightmare on Elm Street, every time one would come out, would quote a line and go, "Wasn't that amazing?"
You mean like this?
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to our time, bitch.
Okay, yeah, that counts as a quippy line.
Oh man, I remember seeing that as a child. I probably shouldn't have been seeing it and dying, man. That is the funniest. He has some funny lines in this movie too, but we'll get to that. But
when it came to the monsters, he was the only one that actually spoke between the big three, right?
that is true, right? Because Michael could speak but chose not to speak. Jason never really talked. Or I mean, I guess zombies don't talk, right? But so yeah, he's the only one that could talk. So basically, if there was a slasher union, I would think Freddy would be the spokesman for the slasher.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, and Freddy has the best sense of humor. I mean, his sarcasm is like bar none. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I could argue it's so bad, but it's so good.
So it's so bad it's good.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so bad it's good.
I do have another question.
Sure.
As most people know, I've not been, keen on a whole lot of horror movies growing up. This is only my third Nightmare on Elm Street experience, if you count Freddy vs. Jason. But Kinte, you said that Nightmare on Elm Street has the best sequels. I have to ask, didn't Friday the 13th, they didn't even really get started being a thing until the sequels, right?
Yeah, that's right. As we know it now, it wasn't until the third installment when he has the hockey mask, and Jason wasn't the killer. Spoiler alert! Until the second one, he had the bag over his head.
I did see the first one.
Yeah. So, Jason's interesting. Like, we're gonna do a Friday 13th, probably part 7, the New Blood. But I guess at some point we might get to other ones. And just as a side note, Jen doesn't know this, but we're gonna be doing Jaws month.
Ooh. Nice.
And so we're gonna do Jaws 1 and Jaws 2, Jaws 3.
Oh man, I don't know if I should do Jaws, dude. I live on an island. It's scary in the ocean.
For anyone who hasn't seen any of the Jaws or only the first one, it really is like an escalator going down.
The bar keeps getting lower and lower. Well, the shark showed up. Oh,
it literally gets worse.
Yay.
Each film is worse and worse and worse, and then the last one is so freaking bad. If I just ran through what happens in the fourth one, you'd be like, no, like it's kind of almost unbelievably bad. I'll just say this: the name of the fourth one is Jaws: The Revenge.
Yes.
And the revenge isn't from the humans.
Wait, low key, I actually really do love that movie.
Did you hear me,
It's one
Josh?
of my most favorites.
I am not. This is not hyperbole. I'm not making. The fourth movie is called Jaws: The Revenge, and who's out for revenge is not the humans.
Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark.
So just chew on that. I'm sure you understand it, right? Just chew on
that one.
Chew on that. Okay?
Chew on the shark bait.
Our friend Brandon Junk. We gotta get Brandon Junk on here too. Something about eventual sharks moving thousands of miles to mess with a woman.
Well, come on. What else does it have to do? There's no internet under the sea.
And he's not going to drive.
And it's not. Yeah, that's so true. It definitely is not.
Yeah, just chew on that, Joe. And we're going to review that at some point. But anyway, all right, this is not the Jaws podcast. But okay, so let's get into this film. This film was very interesting because the first one was a hit. The second one, a lot of people didn't like, even though I liked the second one myself. There's some kind of weird stuff going on in the second one, and I won't get into that, but because we almost did the second one instead of this one, but I feel like this is the best sequel of all of them, so that's why we're doing this. And this one was actually set out to be the last one. This was supposed to be the last movie. Of course, it made a lot of money, and they said F that. So this movie returns Heather, Nancy. They never travel. That's funny. Nancy, who was the final girl from the first movie, and Wes Craven was initially supposed to write this one, and he did write the screenplay, but it was redone by Frank Darabont and another writer whose name escapes me. And so most of it is the Frank Darabont movie. And one thing they do in this film is they add on to the mythology of Freddy. We already know that he was a child murderer. And this is something that they want to, I've heard Robert Englund wants to clarify. Freddy was not a child molester. He was a child murderer, which is a big difference. I mean, he's still a scumbag, right? He's killing kids. Right. But because some people say, well, wasn't he a child molester? No, I mean, he just murdered the kids, which I mean, that's what a, like I didn't touch the kids, I just killed them, like,
That'll
so,
hold up in a jury.
right, right. So, but I wanted to clarify that because some people say, well, ain't that people who are not as familiar with Nightmare on Elm Street, they think it's about a child molester. He's a child murderer. And so the backstory is that the family of the victims and people who were trying to protect their kids, they all came together and murdered Freddy. And so Freddy they burnt him, and that's why he looks all burnt up, and that's why he's come back into the children of the people that murdered him's dreams. And so in this film, we have a new lady, a new final girl, played by Patricia Arquette, and this was Patricia Arquette's first film. The character's name is Kristen, and we see her having dreams about the Nancy Thompson house from the first film, and it's this great opening scene where she's building a was it a paper mache house of it. And I was saying during that, Jen, isn't it interesting how you can start off on your way to making rolls, but then if you make another turn, it turns into glue. Because it looks like she's making rolls at first, and then it's like, oh no, she's making glue.
It's true, and as somebody who works in the kitchen quite a bit, that's totally valid. So
yeah. So but so she's making the house, and then we start off, and she almost kills herself, and she's put into this what is it? Not an asylum. What would you call this place?
I mean, it's an asylum for the criminally insane.
Hospital.
It's like a mental health hospital.
Mental hospital
for troubled teens. And so they have all these kids who have been fighting.
It's a psychiatric ward. The way that the description says, it's a psychiatric ward. So we don't know exactly where it is, but that's exactly what that is. Yeah.
And you have like all these kids have been committing suicide. That's like what's been going on. And they don't understand why. And they're saying that they don't want to go to sleep because there's this guy in their dreams, and it seems like they're trying to kill him. And it just so happens that brand new to the staff is Nancy Thompson from the first film. She is now she's not a doctor. She's more like a
counselor.
Intern.
Yeah, an intern. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's how the story gets started. And then also we have to mention that in this film is Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus himself. He's one of the orphans.
Larry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Larry Fishburne, who plays Max, the orderly. So, but all right, let's start off with you, Jen. What do you think about the setup for this story?
Well, I mean, I feel like this. Okay, so I know I wasn't in the pre-screening kind of room, but I love this movie for so many different reasons. One of them is that setup piece, just because it offers us both a glimpse into sort of what happened before, and also makes the house this real center of evil. Like, Freddy lives here because Nightmare on Elm Street is about Elm Street, right? But how do you make it about Elm Street if all the people are off in a psychiatric ward? And by bringing Kristen in, they do such a good job of keeping that horror center exactly where it's supposed to be. So as a kind of an example, it's really difficult to have Jason outside of Camp Crystal Lake because that's where his power is supposed to be, right? So they do an awesome job keeping Freddy kind of in that special, like, okay, this is right over hell. I love it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I do too. And I like how they leaned into the original, but then they also created new characters to care about. And for the most part, I thought they did pretty good on the character development. I thought for this kind of film, I felt like we got a little attached At least I did to the different characters. Of course, you had your typical characters. You had the angry black guy. You know, you have the nerdy guy. You have the horny deaf guy. You know, you have the punk
every
rock,
morning has a horny deaf guy,
right? The punk rock chick who's like a drug addict, and I guess I'm leaving out one of the other types in there. And
You forgot the paraplegic, right?
he was the nerd guy,
Oh, okay.
the wizard. He was in the D&D and all of that.
This
Oh,
movie
right.
is very tropey. This movie, in the best possible way, this movie is so tropey.
Yeah, very, very much so. So let's talk about the different characters besides Kristen and Nancy and the doctors and stuff. Who of the kids? Who was some of your favorite characters? We'll start off with you, Josh. Who did you like?
I pass.
Oh, okay. All right. What about you, Tory?
I liked the punk rock chick because
I knew it.
because the one scene when she's like, she has that studded outfit on and she's all like, I want to be a badass, and she like flings open some blades. I was like, yes.
I knew that was gonna be Tory's.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes. What about you, Olaf?
Well, it's like Tory just took mine, so I'm the same one. It's like it gets like the rocker chick, yeah.
Okay, yeah. What about you, Jen?
I'm trying to think who. I don't know if I actually have a favorite, to be honest. I loved everybody for such different reasons. But okay, I guess if I had to choose, I kind of feel like I would. Do we have to choose between the kids, or is this everybody?
Well, the kids, because they're the Dream Warriors.
I actually kind of like Joey. Okay, I kind of like Joey.
And Joey was the deaf guy.
Yeah,
the guy who couldn't speak.
You're right, the guy that couldn't speak. I feel like that was a big. That whole thing must have been huge for him, but also as a character, I like the little thing. Well, that'll come later, but I like the little things that happen later with that character. So.
My favorite character was Zsa Zsa Gabor. No, just playing.
Was she one of the kids? Wow, she looked really young.
No, I like the nerdy dude. Like, you got to see, if all those who wanted to see Harry Potter versus Freddy Krueger.
You got to see it, yeah.
Right, you got to see it.
Well, part of me liking the rocker chick is because I used to go to the conventions, and at one that glove that Freddy had all the syringes on it. Mm-hmm. I actually got to see and put one of those on at one of the conventions. So it's kind of like, oh, cool. And it was screen accurate, but it wasn't screen used, but it was screen accurate. Pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Now, did you shoot up with it?
I tried to, but they had the needles. They were not functional. It's like the plungers didn't work.
Oh,
of course, not that. Yeah, now at the same convention, I did get to. I got a picture with. With Freddy Krueger and Jason.
Nice.
In one picture.
Nice.
So Robert Englund and Kane Hodder.
And let me pull this up. I should be showing pictures too. And then we have for those who are on Cinema de Fromage, this guy Craig comes back up. Craig Wasson, who was in the movie Body Double, and he is
he's the doctor, right?
The doctor, yes, in this film. And he had a little run during the 80s, that guy, that gentleman.
That guy
looks like Bill Maher. If there was the Bill Maher movie, he totally would be play Bill Maher in the movie.
He does. I thought that was Bill Maher at first, and I was like,
Right. Yeah, he totally looks like Bill Maher. So, and I felt like he did a fine job as well. So I think great setup for the film. Let's talk about the kills and the scares. I remember when I saw this as a young person, like when it came out, this was terrifying. And it's not as scary as when I was a kid, but I felt like the gags held up pretty well. I felt like it was a lot of tension, and I loved the big head Freddy.
yeah.
The big head Freddy I thought was good. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let me see if I can pull that up. I just not what I was trying to do. Let's go for that big head Freddy. I thought that was pretty good. I love this. Obviously, behind the scenes picture of the big Eatner. I thought that was pretty cool. I love the puppetry scene where
that's good.
Yeah, I love how he does it too. He's so good. He's like, as he's cutting him, and then he goes, and then when the brother sees the guy sleepwalking, he's like, "Nice stroll, asshole."
Yeah.
That is funny line. I think I used to say that a lot too as a kid. I used to quote movies all the time, and this was definitely a movie I quoted quite a bit. And then the great scene with the television. Funny that we played the clip from. So let me not take all the kills. What were you guys some of your favorite kills in this film? We'll start off with you, Tory.
The first one, whenever he was going like this with his veins, I really like that. That was really well done. Like, I think that the puppetry to it, yeah, he was a good puppet master. He was like, ha 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 ha. It embodied evil to me. So I really like that he made him jump to and I was like, oh no! And then I remembered, it's a horror movie. People are gonna die.
No. Why do people gotta die in horror movies?
I have no idea. Wait a minute. Did we just? Okay, no. I'm not even gonna go there. Moving on.
Moving on.
Well, no, I think this movie though really made you empathize with the characters and really did a good story building. Like, they did a good job of character building, I thought, with it. You said that before, but I just think that yeah, and he looked like he was in so much pain, and he, it was cool. But I think that they made you want to egg them on. Like, come on, guys, you can make it. You can beat him. Especially when the black guy was like, I'm going to make it to the very end because I don't take no shit from nobody. And you're like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. There you go. The black guy.
Yeah.
All right. So what about you, Joshua? What are some of your favorite kills from the film?
Well, I think first and foremost, the puppet master stuff was very impressive, especially from a technical standpoint. In fact, it was probably the most creative kill in the movie, which is kind of unfortunate because everything after this is kind of straightforward with a good setup, especially for the TV kill. I mean, that's how I imagine Amy Schumer would go. But this is just like the epitome of all of the creativity in the movie. And it's kind of unfortunate that it got, thrown out there so early, rather than building up as each kill goes along.
Okay.
It was impressive.
What about you, Jen? What was some of your favorite kills?
Well, okay, so I kind of like, although I guess I don't know how to describe it like as an actual kill. I mean, eventually, I guess, but I liked the idea of Joey, right, going into the coma when he was like in that giant flaming pit. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
That piece. Because okay, so that I know that like leaves him in the coma, and then that like drives some story forward and stuff like that. But I loved that idea because I always felt like that was Freddy's like most primal torment, was like the flames, right? Because that is because I feel like that's actually Freddy's, maybe his quasi fear. Not that he has many, but I feel like if there's anything that would be super scary, it would be flames. And when he inflicts that on somebody else, it just has this like larger than life meaning. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And also, of course, the TV "Welcome to Prime Time" is like, I mean, that's just so classic. You cannot, you can't even say that line and not have somebody know exactly what you're talking about. So that was one of my favorites.
And can we talk about how this scene started out? It started out so promising for the young man, and the hot nurse throwing herself on him, and then man, it kind of, then she's tongue kissing him, and then all of a sudden their tongues become
Oh, I
intertwined.
hated that. Oh God, I
Oh,
hated that. Okay, yeah.
oh, man, Josh is like, I'll never tongue kiss a woman again after this.
Yeah, that's why that's never going to happen again.
That's the reason. Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Olaf? What was it? Was there,
It's like it's like I liked the TV one. It's like the Welcome to Primetime and slamming her into the TV. I thought that was really good, and the FX work that they did in the Nightmare movies is just for the time. I mean, that was really good stuff. But I guess my favorite kill was puppet. The puppet, because he's walking along here and got his veins coming out of it and everything. I'm sitting there thinking, it's like dance, make him dance.
oh, you made him dance.
It's like make him dance better, but it's like really get them veins up pumping. But I was like, that was probably my favorite kill was the puppeteering one, and then to make him jump at the end. It's just I don't know. It's really good. I like that one.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good too. All right, so the next thing I'd like to talk about is one thing that they did that I thought was really good that the second one didn't do is it expanded on the mythology of Freddy, and it gave you more details onto who he was. And I played the clip before the show, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the clip one more time, just because for those who may not have heard it. But here we go, and I want to talk about this because I think it's pretty interesting.
This wing's been closed for years. What was this place?
Purgatory, fashioned by the hands of men. Twisted, lonely souls, the worst of the criminally insane, were locked up in here like animals.
This whole facility was shut down in the 40s, wasn't it? Some sort of scandal?
The young girl on the staff was accidentally locked in here over the holidays. The inmates kept her hidden for days. She was raped hundreds of times. When they found her, she was barely alive and with child. That girl was Amanda Krueger. Her child, Freddy, the bastard son of 100 maniacs.
Bastard son of 100 maniacs.
Okay,
Mm.
so I don't mean to like spoil anybody's idea of either anatomy or how babies are made, but that baby was clearly one of those people's babies and not 1,000. I'm sorry.
Well,
There weren't 100 souls that got. No, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. But
Well,
one of those people was bad enough to be
you
Freddy's
just
daddy.
killed my whole perception of the 100. You know, getting the 100.
Yeah,
Dang.
I'm so sorry, Olaf. I'm so sorry. I
well,
mean,
well,
we could have solved all of this back in the 80s if we would have just had 23 and Me. We could have just run Freddy's saliva from that tongue thing. We would have been all done. It would have been, yeah.
Put a bow on
It was Joey. That's who it was.
Amanda already went through to 23 and Me, so she didn't. She didn't but you know what's interesting? You know, Frank Darabont actually was the one that came up with that concept of Freddy being of that. He came up with that. I saw that in a documentary, and I thought that's really interesting turn to have that be who Freddy is, and it gives you more insight to how evil, why he was so evil.
Well, makes you. Of course, you also wonder too. You know, she said the whole thing was she was repeatedly, it's like raped by, the 100 different madmen, and she named her son Freddy. So is Freddy the one that raped her more times than everybody else, or what?
Oh, because you think he's named after one of the? I don't think so, man. That's terrible.
I mean, odds are one of them was named Fred or Freddy.
Yeah, one of them was. It's like one of them was Freddy or something like that. That's but maybe he was the repeat.
I gotta say, I'm kind of with you on this, Kinte. I love the idea. I mean, not that I love the idea. Don't get me wrong, but from an origin story background, it's actually kind of cool to personify evil by creating, especially in this way, which is like, there's something sacred about especially about a child being born innocent into the world. There is something amazing about turning this concept of original sin into something so dark and sinister, so that the embodiment of absolute evil came from that, the act of that was done to the mom so many, however many years back that was. It never left him. It was always sort of there and waiting basically to escape. I feel like that is just absolutely astounding. It was really good. It was just a really good way of expressing his origin.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty incredible. Yeah. So I think the name of this film is called The Dream Warriors, right? At least the subtitle. And the Dream Warriors, it basically is that they are taking agency in their dreams, right? They're no longer being afraid because inside they have these characters that they've built up that have strengths, that have superpowers, and that they are gonna take on Freddy head on, right?
Right.
And I love that. I love that 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 aspect of it. Unfortunately, I feel like they could have went deeper with it, and they really didn't. But it's fine. So let's kind of go through the powers of the individuals. Let me pull up some pictures so that it can better illustrate what we're talking about. Okay, here we go. Let's bring up these jokers. All right, so you have the nerdy guy, right? He can't walk, but in his dreams he can walk, and he's also a wizard or a warlord. You guys know more about this stuff than me.
He's a warlock.
Warlock, okay,
Yeah.
and
Dungeon master.
he has superpowers. Electric fingers or whatever. Uh, hold on a second. No, hold on a second. So that's his ability. You have the brother. He's just really super strong. you know, like not much to it. Just he's just super strong.
And doesn't like chairs.
It doesn't like chairs, right? And then you have the Kristen, Patricia Arquette's character. She can do backflips. That's her. That's her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why that's so awesome. I mean, I wish I could do backflips, but
But she does them really good.
she is excellent. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get there we go. And then everybody's favorite right here. This young lady. She's a punk rocking bad chick with two small blades and a mohawk.
Uh-huh.
I think the hair can cut people too. Pretty sure.
But yeah, the mohawk is sharp too. You know,
It
she can
looks
just
like
kind of duck her head down and run at you. You know.
Didn't she kind of look like was it Justine Bateman a little bit? She kind of had
bit, yeah.
Justine Bateman vibe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
All right. And we have a special guest coming in. Ryan, what's up, Ryan? So Ryan, so you've seen this film. We can't hear you, bro. So while we're waiting for Ryan to hop in, yeah, she did have a kind of Justine Bateman vibe.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've seen that film hundreds of times. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. One of my favorite franchise of all time.
Okay, cool. So let me ask this question. This is perfect timing. So the Dream Warriors, they all have the abilities, right? Give me an ability you would like to have. You only can have one, like a superpower. So we'll start off with you, Josh. What's the ability you would have?
The ability that I would have. And I'm guessing I can't just pick a character and say, I want that ability to be that character, right?
No, for you. For you. Sorry.
For me. For
yeah,
me.
And don't say, I can't die. You know.
Well, there goes mine.
I mean, I actually did think about this while we were watching the movie. And the first thing that popped in my mind was, I want Deadpool's healing factor.
Okay, so you can't die, basically. Unless your head is chopped off, right?
It would take a lot of effort on their part.
Okay. All right. That's kind of easy, but all right, Tory, what about you? What's your ability?
Well, let's see. I think that I would like the ability to read minds. It would probably save me a lot of headache and let me not have as much sticking my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, but how many guys would you slap though every day? You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't even know. Did I told you this once before? Like because of my show and everything. Like I think of like I had this like hang up for a little bit about like guys watching me and masturbating to my podcasts and like how it gave me like a complex for a couple episodes.
Really?
I was like,
I have that same issue.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You have the same issue. I mean, look, man. Hey, they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's my expense. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, you know, it could be from your Instagram post. I mean,
oh yeah. let's just say, you know,
you can't really control that. But yeah, that wow. Look, guys, if you guys are doing that, just don't tell her.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
What about you, Olaf? What would your power be that you would?
Now you talk about like for the movie or just in general?
Any power.
Oh, okay.
Don't say something easy like, "Oh, I would never die."
Yeah, no, it's like, well, I guess that's like a power. I don't know. Toss up between being able to fly and having like the vibranium it's like spikes. The claws come out.
Or the ectoskeleton? Isn't that
Yeah,
what Wolverine has?
the vibranium ectoskeleton, or have both of them, have that, and could be able to fly.
What about you, Jen?
Oh, I would definitely have the power to draw a hot bath no matter where I am, so that I could just instantly relax. Always have bath bombs. That would be great. Yes, that's my secret superpower.
Well-
No, actually, I think the power that I would love to have the most is actually the opposite of Josh's. It would be a healing power. Like if I could touch somebody, that I could heal them. That's what I would want.
You already
I would
have
like to
it,
be able to
Jen.
heal them.
You already
Um,
have it, Jen.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay. Okay, then I go back to my bath one because that's the one that I really want the most.
All right. What about you, Ryan? What superpower would you take on?
It's hard to say because all the obvious ones, but I think the ability to be light. Because light can travel at obviously there's nothing that's faster than light, but light also carries information and it's condensed. And it's vibration. It has an ability to impact people and affect people at such a I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's vibration, but you can't see it, you can't feel it, but it's there. It's there. So I want to be able to be able to travel like light.
Okay, mine would be super metabolism, so that I could just eat whatever and then I never gain weight. Just that'd be dope. Super metabolism. That's what I'll take. But let me ask this quick question while we wait for Tory to come back. All right, I'm gonna give you a choice. You could either fly or be or be invisible. You can turn invisible. Which one would you guys pick?
I say invisible.
Yeah.
Invisible.
What about you, Josh? Fly.
It's unanimous. Invisible.
Yeah, invisible.
You guys are all purrs. I know why y'all want to be invisible.
Oh, you do not. You do not.
Because
It's not the
flying
reason.
at altitude would kill you.
No, that's funny. No, but I would pick invisibility as well. So we're all pervy. But come on now.
I'm not a
Hey,
perv. Get out
it's
of
like
town.
if you could be invisible, you're always going to be first in line because you just walk up, blink, here I am. You gotta be first in line. Don't have to wait.
Yeah, it says if you're invisible, nobody will know if you're laying in the ditch bleeding out.
I want to be invisible because I just generally don't like people like at all. And so if I'm invisible, nobody will bug me. I'll be able to go about my daily life. Nobody will bother me. Nobody will even talk to me. I'm such an introvert that being invisible sounds like perfect. It sounds like the best elixir in life.
And probably the best thing about being invisible, it's like maybe if you were invisible, or if I was invisible, I wouldn't have them people coming up to me. Hey, we've been trying to get in touch with you about your car's warranty.
Right.
Yeah, see? Also, invisibility goes along really well with my desire to have an instant hot bath anywhere. Because then nobody would actually be able to see me in the bath, and that would be great. Yeah.
It's also easier to steal if you're invisible.
Oh, see, leave it to Josh to turn it into something nefarious.
Bills don't pay themselves.
I'm calling your mom, Josh. I am going to have a talk with her.
Do you have a Ouija board?
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
All right. So, what is worse? What will put you in hell more? Taking a Seagram's bottle and stealing holy water, or stealing a crucifix from a Catholic church? Because he did both, and and he's like, "Here, take my
driver's license."
License, right? Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll tell you, but here, have my license. I'm gonna go with the crucifix.
Yeah, I think stealing that crucifix is pretty bad.
And if you don't bring it back, you definitely gonna go.
I have questions about this scene, especially concerning the scene before it at the bar. Okay, so it was the doctor's idea to go to the church, right? Because he needed the holy water and the crucifix.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew where they were going. And yet he still has the dad drive, even though he is totally 3 sheets to the wind drunk.
Right.
And the only reason he takes the alcohol from the dad is so he can use the bottle. But nope, he's still like, you're drunk, but your car, so I guess you're driving.
Right. Yeah, because you think that he's stealing the bottle because he's trying to stop him from drinking and and get his mind right. But no, I just need the bottle to steal holy water.
Yeah, that was really funny. I think that was my favorite part of the movie right there.
Hilarious. Yeah, that's
80s logic.
Right.
And he's a doctor.
That is freaking hilarious. Okay, so but anyway, so and shout out to John Saxon, who reprises his role as Nancy's father. And if you know John Saxon, he was in Enter the Dragon and a bunch of different movies and stuff like that. So a nice cameo by him. All right, so let's get into the confrontation. Now I gotta call Nancy out. Nancy goes back to the hospital and tells all the kids, we need to go in the dream together to fight Freddy. Basically leading those kids to their slaughter. Like half of them got killed. Like, did she really need to bring them? Like,
kind of remind me of like the Braveheart like speech before they all like pretty much kill themselves. Like she like amped up the crew. They're all like, "Yeah, let's do this." And
yeah, it's like why did she need them? Like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny that she did that. I was like, what? And then they never even make any mention of it. It's like, yeah, they, even when everything works out good, there is no, oh, what about our fallen brethren? It's just like, oh, everything's great, F them. And then this is funny as hell. When the bourbons, what did he say? Bourbon, was it that he was when the guy goes, hey, where's the bourbon?
Where's the bourbon?
Right. Hilarious, man. That Freddy is freaking hilarious. But did you guys feel sorry for let's say the punk rock chick when she got it?
The one that got the short end of the stick when it comes to powers?
Yes.
By not actually having powers?
No, I
big weapons.
Yeah, they didn't have much of a imagination when it came to their powers. It's like, it was just like, oh, you couldn't. That's not even a power. You could just go to the store or something.
Yeah, go to the mall.
Right.
Be that.
It wasn't even switchblades. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the funniest. I think this is the funniest part of the movie, and it's so sick and twisted. And, funny. What do you call those type of? I don't know. Not a coincidence, but it was like ironic, right? And not ironic. There's a word, but it was just hilarious. I was cracking up because like she obviously is the most vulnerable out of all of the characters, right? And for Freddy to be like, you know what? I'm gonna inject you with all these drugs. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's cold, man. That's cold. And she was really, and also that was jacked up was that one orderly that was like being all creepy and stuff.
Yeah, no. Who was that guy? Because he's been in like other things and I can't picture like what he's been in, but I think it was like he was in a movie about a boxer, like an underground boxer, like back in the day. I don't remember, but
I know who you're talking. Yeah, that guy. He usually plays like a jerk face.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Joyner Lucas a little bit.
Is it me?
Huh?
Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Wait.
Thought it might have been.
Yeah. Did it narrow it down with he seems like he's been in something before. Oh god.
Yeah, he's been in something before. But anyway, so yeah, the poor punk rock chick who didn't have much of a she didn't have much of a I mean, you can have any power you want. She basically.
And she shows overconfidence.
Now, what about this guy right here? I know Cher in our chat room. She's a big D&D streamer, so I know she felt bad for this guy. This poor guy. I mean, I know, and I can see Jen probably liking this guy.
Yes, actually. I felt very bad for him. You know why? Because, and like I said in the beginning, there were so many tropes in this, and I swear to God, one time I actually got beat up for playing Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, like, it was not, this person shoved me against a wall because they were like, nerd! And that was exactly the feeling. That was totally the feeling. So, yeah, I actually did feel bad.
Why is he running at him? Like, what's the whole running at him?
Because he can't.
Because he had legs. Was he the guy in the wheelchair?
Yeah, but why is he running at him? Like, I would have blasted him from that distance. Like, he's running toward him.
Yeah, you gotta use those legs, man.
He had to use those legs.
Yeah, it's like,
these shoes are made for walking.
It's like him running towards it was in the budget, so they had to do it. Instead of standing back and shooting at him, it's like, he had to run up and get, up close and personal with him. Of course, if I'm gonna, whoop on somebody, I want to be up close and personal with them myself. So I'd run up on him too. So
if I was a dungeon master, I would hope to be a little more creative with my spells. Honestly,
Right? Where's the Demigorgon? I'm just saying, where's the Demigorgon?
So much to choose from, and he's like, I'm going to run up and fisticuffs you. Roll an ish.
All right. And then let's talk about the. All right. So the way that the Craig Watson character, the doctor, is told defeat Freddy is you have to find his remains, and then you got to bury them in hollowed ground. And so he convinces the father to tell him where the remains are. And god dang, why did they put the remains in a Cadillac in a in a junkyard? Like, that makes sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, it makes
You would think it would be a furnace somewhere, like,
or
I don't know,
in the ocean.
Wait a minute, though. It's a dream. It's not supposed to actually make sense.
Well, that part was
the
a
reality.
dream.
Yeah, that's reality.
Yeah.
When it comes to Freddy, how can you tell? How can you actually tell what's real and what's not real?
Yeah, well, that's true.
And then how was Freddy able to get them? They weren't sleeping. Like, Freddy realized
they had to bring him out into, because they had to bring him out of the dream state. If you grab onto him, but in this particular movie, I think the whole what did the doctor do? I don't remember, but they had to do something to bring him to life and to take him out of the dream state.
Well, I mean, maybe they're saying because he was messing with his bones, that allowed him to come out. I guess that's what it was kind of unclear. It was like all of a sudden he realized they were messing with his bones, so then he teleported out.
Yeah,
and he was able to inhabit his bones, and and take he took out the father, and then just kind of, and what's kind of funny is we reviewed the movie Body Double, and this same actor I don't know if you guys remembered the ones that were in the Body Double. This literally could be a shot from Body Double, because remember he was buried in that movie as well. So.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, literally, if you had showed me that, I would have been like, "Oh, that's from Body Double." Oh wait, no, that's from Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh wow, his getting buried alive acting is superb. But
Very good.
I love the it looked like Sinbad or Clash of the Titans, you know, with the Harryhausen type, you know, with the claymation skeleton and all of that kind of stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. So let's to wrap a bow on this. The doctor is able to get the bones into the ground, and then he starts pouring the Seagram's holy water on Freddy.
Hey, fire water, go on. It's like go on, Freddy. Yes.
Yeah, and you know, perfect timing. And poor Freddy. Did you guys feel sorry for Freddy? You know, poor Freddy. You know, he didn't deserve this. He in a way.
What? Did you
Freddy
watch
was a
the
victim.
movie that we did?
Freddy, you know what? I'm gonna speak out on Freddy. Freddy is a victim. All right, he's a.
Oh, good lord!
It's like from all everybody picking on him and everything. Yes, it's like yeah. I guess I could see that he was probably a victim.
You know,
didn't realize what he was doing.
Him and Jason, they had messed up childhoods. Him, Jason, and Michael, right? They all had.
They were just misunderstood.
Yeah. So poor Freddy. He didn't deserve to go out like that. And then the stolen. It's like, okay, my thing I want to see is, remember, he borrowed the crucifix from the church. I want to see him return the crucifix after this. You know?
I just borrowed it.
You know, it's like
well, that's the big question. Did he take it back?
Yeah.
We gave him his driver's license to hold, right?
Right.
Why is it always
deposit $100 deposit? You know,
like why is it always the like crucifix in the Bible? Like why not the Quran or some shit? Like it's like only. You know, I don't know.
Well, wait. In this movie, it actually does make sense because Freddy was conceived in a nunnery, or not a nunnery, but you know, yeah. I mean, like that was sort of like the thing. So of course, everything's got. I always feel like that must be an interesting thing. Like, you know, somebody needs to make a horror movie about demons from another culture invading another culture, and nobody would understand it. What's going on? This doesn't make any sense. So would the demons just give up? I mean, would it just be like, yeah, they don't get it. Let's go, guys.
Hilarious. Yeah, I don't know.
But that wouldn't be a bad idea because nobody would really know what was really supposed to happen. So you'd be breaking new ground, and they wouldn't be able to tell if it's good or bad.
I have about 18,000 different ideas for a screenplay, so yeah, hit me up if you need one.
What if his mother was a Scientologist? Would that change things?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. It absolutely would. They would not get
Tom
rid of him.
Cruise would star as himself. You know,
they wouldn't get rid of him with a crucifix. They would have to buy him off.
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna say put him in a spaceship, but okay.
Which gets finished first, the filming or the lawsuits?
Oh yeah, that's a dangerous road to go down.
So that wraps this movie in a bow. This is supposed to have been the last film, as we all know. This wasn't the last movie. And does anybody remember? We're about to spoil the beginning of the next movie. Anyone remember how Freddy comes back?
Wait, isn't this Wes Craven's New Nightmare? Isn't
no,
that the next
no,
one?
this
is the Dream Master.
Oh, okay.
He came back, or are we supposed to say it? Or
yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying. Well, I think was it King? What's his name? The brother man. His name's Kinte.
Kinte, right?
Yeah, I think it was Kincaid, the dog. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
They go back to the
graveyard or the
junkyard.
Junkyard.
And the junkyard. That's right.
The Kincaid is there, and a dog goes to the area where he was buried, and then the dog takes a leak, and fire comes out of the dog's urine, and it opens the ground up, and then Freddy's bones come back together, and
I don't remember that. There's
Yeah.
weird.
I will show you guys after the movie, but it's hilarious. I thought that was a great way to bring him back, and then he's all like, "I'm back," So it's fun.
Can I say something for Dream Warriors? One thing is that this was one of the horror movies where a black guy didn't get killed.
That's right.
Throughout
That's
the
right.
Yeah.
Two black guys too, Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne and Kincaid. So yeah.
But they killed him in the next movie.
Well, but they said we're gonna fix that wrong in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, we forgot.
Oh, guys,
we forgot.
Spoilers, guys.
Business.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Unfinished business. Oh no.
Yeah, I think
Also-
you'll enjoy the film. Anyway.
Also, these movies are so old at this point, Josh, that if you haven't seen them, I don't think spoilers matter. I mean, these movies are
They
so
matter to
old
me.
that New Line Cinema used to be called the house that Freddy built.
Right.
Because that's how they got so much cash to start. So yeah, I don't think there's anything.
In a future installment, Freddy turns somebody into a roach,
Yeah.
and then he's like looking in a roach motel, and he's like, "You can check in, but you can't check out." And he's
Oh my god, I remember that line. That's so funny.
oh my god, he had some of the best lines. He had my favorite though. It was from New Nightmare. I gotta find this where he's like he's going after some kids, and he's like, "Come here, kids! I got some gingerbread for you."
I remember
So
that.
okay, so guys, the holidays are coming up. I just want everybody to please check in on all of your, the people that might be working, any place where they could get shut in with 100 madmen. Everybody just check in on them, okay? Ask them home for the holidays. Make sure they've got a warm place to stay. We don't need any new Freddys in the world.
You know what? That episode of Maury would have been crazy though. Like 100 men up on the dais.
You are not his dad.
The one guy
You're
is
not
like,
the father.
how did I do it? And you're strong. Your seed is strong. You made it through all those things.
He'd probably be wearing the Freddy shirt, Wait a minute.
Oh man.
I was gonna say I really liked this one because Wes Craven came back because number 2 was terrible and it was hilarious, but it was terrible. I think it was quite a deviation from Nightmare on Elm Street number 1.
Mhm.
And just to have a little bit more creativity, because that's one thing I like about Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like the only I don't know if you would call it a slasher film or what have you, but it has a storyline, but it allows for the imagination, right? Going into someone's dream and being able to manipulate those variables, it makes a better horror film than just running after people with knives and shit.
Yeah.
Or turning into a zombie and
the second one was actually, for lack of a better term, homoerotic. And it was meant to be. I saw an interview with Robert Englund. He said that they meant to do that. That was, it was his idea to make it like that. Because it's the main person's a guy. And it's kind of weird stuff, especially for back then. You're like, wait, what's going on in this? It's like, yeah. Look at Josh hasn't seen it. Josh is like, oh wow, I'm gonna fire that one up tonight. But yeah, that one was
all kinds of Easter eggs in that one.
Yeah, that one is some interesting stuff. And then the barbecue scene is priceless in that one.
Oh God, yeah, that was priceless. You're right.
But anyway, so let's start off with Tory. What would you give this 1 out of 10, with 10 being the highest?
8.
Okay, 8. All right. All right. Go with that. What about you, Josh? What would you give it?
Well, considering it's in the now top 5 of the most 80s movie I've ever seen, I'm going to go ahead and say a 6.
Okay, 6. What about you, Ryan?
I would say that they got really lazy at the very end of the movie. I would give it a 7.
7. Okay. Olaf.
7.
7. Okay.
I go with a 7. Yeah.
All right. And je ne sais quoi.
I give this movie a 9. I love this movie so much. I could watch this movie again and again and again and again.
I would give this one a 9. I would say it's the second best of all the movies after the first one. I would say it goes 1, 3, and then like 4, 6, 2, 5. No, wait, no, New Nightmare. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, New Nightmare is my favorite, honestly.
That's really good. New Nightmare. It's a very good movie. At some point, yes, I love my new mic. New Nightmare is very good film. So, but yeah, I feel like this and New Nightmare is probably tied for number 2. So, but and that's Wes Craven back. So, but anyway, with all that said, that concludes. I said conducts. That concludes our review of this film. And before we say goodbye to everybody, I want to first start out by taking this moment to say I'm about to get real serious right now.
Oh.
You know, sometimes it's hard to go to sleep. Sometimes you don't have the right pillow. Maybe you can't get the weather just the right way in your bedroom. And then you finally get to go to sleep. And you're having a wonderful dream, maybe about a woman you've always admired. Or for the ladies, maybe a fella. And everything's going well. And then some creepy dude in a hat and a sweater with knives on their hands just messes up your dream.
That was a good public service announcement, Kinte.
What I'm going to say to that is, next time somebody interrupts your dream, it may not be Freddy Krueger. It may be Josh jumping in your dream. It may be Olaf jumping in your dream. It may be Ryan jumping in your dream. What I say is, take control. Take control of your dream. Let them know. Let Josh know you will not interrupt my dream. You will not interrupt my wet dream, Josh. Wet blanket. You won't be a wet blanket on my wet dream.
That's the perfect plane for her.
So, listen to me. Take control of your dreams. All right. With that said, we're going to start off with Josh. How can we get you in social media and all that good stuff?
If I'm not too busy invading people's dreams for some reason, you can always go to cinecorestudios.com. That will have all of the links and contact information, so you can find me on all of the social medias, including Twitter, Facebook, and that's it. I mean, I have a TikTok account, but I haven't posted anything because I'm not 12. So,
hey,
cinecorestudios.com.
Don't sleep on the talk, okay?
Josh, listen. I'm just gonna say this out loud, dude. You watch out for those TikTokers. Don't you piss them off. They will come for you. You think Freddy's bad? They will come for you. Okay.
Olaf, how can we get you?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't follow too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
I was quick on the draw.
That was beautifully timed.
I was ready for that. All right. Ryan, how can we get you in social media and all that good stuff?
I can't follow that at all. Like, bam, bam, bam. I want to do that. You can find me on Hustle Zone TV. Google me. You'll find me on all social media platforms. Also, I am Brand Savant.
All right. And for all those who want to talk ill of my homeboy Ryan?
Put some respect on my name.
I got you, Ryan. Don't worry, I got you. All right, Tory, how can we get you?
Okay, so you can get me on Instagram at Rush Tory, and it's Tory in case you misspell it. And you can also get me on Facebook, Tory Rush. And I'm the first one that pops up, so don't hesitate. Send me a message, friend request me, whatever. I'm open to discussions. And then you can also get me on my podcast every Friday called The Infectious Geek. We talk about all things nerdy. This Friday, we're going to be getting into aliens and extraterrestrial beings, and I'm excited about this one. So, yeah, please stay tuned. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Specific. And,
Specific.
I say it too.
No, I did that on purpose, but only Jen got it. So, anyway. And and so join me at 9, and me and my co-host Kevin, we're gonna start this evil truth thing too, and it should be interesting. So look me up then. And also every week we're gonna be doing another horror flicks and chill. So you'll catch me on here too.
All right. And Jen, how can we get you in social media?
Well, just so that we can wrap everything up, hey, I'm Jen. You can visit me at some of my websites like moviesandmeals.com, and that's about it. So, hey, have a great night, everybody. This has been awesome.
Wow, that was good. You can get me at Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson on Instagram, of course. The new website is theindyradio.com. That's indyradio.com. I am actually going to pop back on streaming. So anybody who wants to join me just for a little bit and for like kind of like an after show. So I'll have a new stream. So, but I want to thank everybody that checked us out tonight. You guys have a great rest of your week. God bless.
And thanks for watching.
Oh, yeah. And wait, I got to leave you guys with something.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big frightened TV.